Hi guys, and welcome to part 19 of Angular with Firebase application tutorials. On the last part we designed the home page, and on this part we will start working on the details page. We see that if we press the book details button, we are being redirected to the books details page because we have previously configured that route. You can check it by going to app.module.ts file, and in here on the app routes we are going to see that we have configured a route which is book/id, and this path is going to be handled by the book component. So on home.component.html we see that the router link is going to be book/the ID which we get from the key property of the book. So now let's go to the book.component.ts file because we are going to use this file to show the details of the book. So book.component.ts, and the first thing we need to do is that we need to import the Firebase service, and after that we need to create an additional function. So we are going to import this service, which is the Firebase service, and now let's go to the Firebase service and create an additional function. So just below the getUnreadBooks, we're going to add a new function, which is going to be used to display the details of the book. In here just write book details is an observable of any. Go to the button, and here we add an additional function. We are going to name this function getBookDetails, and this function is going to get an ID as a parameter. And here we write that this.bookDetails is going to be this.db. We're going to get just a single book, which is a single object. So for that, just write in here db.object, and we're going to get the object from the books node, and we are going to get it using the specific ID, and then just return these book details. Now go back to your book.component.ts file, and since you are going to get the ID from the ActivatedRoute, we need to make two additional imports. So for that we are going to import the ActivatedRoute and router, which belong to the Angular router. To use them we need to first inject them. So first let us inject the Firebase service, and after that just inject the router and the activated router. So just write in here router activated router. On the ng-on-init, before we get the details of the book, we need to get the ID for that book. So for that we are going to write in here ID is going to be of type any. Here write ID of the book. This.id is going to be this.route. So we are going to use the ActivatedRoute injection. This.route.snapshot.get the value of the parameter ID. This ID is really important because it comes from the route configuration. So in here we have said that it's ID. In case you change this value in here, you need to change it in here as well. So if you write, for example, in here old ID, you need to write the same in here old ID. So now that we have the value of the ID, we could use our service to get the data from the database. For that, just write in here this.firebase service .getBookDetails, and this is going to have as a parameter an ID. So we write in here this.id, and since this is going to be an observable object, we could subscribe to that one. So just write in here subscribe. As a result, we are going to get a book, so book. And then inside here we could just console.log the result that we get, book details. Save the changes and go back to your browser. Open the console, and here we see that we get an object. And if you want to see the values inside this object, then simply go back to your component and return json.stringifyBook. Save the changes and go back to your browser. Now we get all the details of the book, so book details, we have the author, here we have the data that it was added, the data read, and all the other details. So guys, this is all for this part. On the next part we are going to modify our book.component.html file, so we get the book details to our view. Thank you one more time for watching, and see you on the next part.